All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We only have until 9:50 because at 9:50 it will be time for Instant Replay with Lauren Hunter. That is at 9:50 on Facebook. That's on Team FYN Sports. You have a card there we can throw up. Lauren Hunter at 9:50. Every Monday I have to get out of the way, move along so she can get in here for 10:10. And you find that show at Team FYN Sports Facebook page live every Monday morning. And I tell you what, they have a lot going on. I mean, I'm seeing softball. I mean, I don't know how she's getting this in an hour. I know but softball, football, scrimmages all around. Stay tuned for that at 10:10. Now, Josh, I have put up the ways that people can follow us and get in touch with us on social media. I have my Border Patrol hat. Right? We have our Trump 2020. Okay. Now, they feel, and I did not put this in the gun segment. I did not want to go down that road right now. We will have more gun segments. America, they want to take your guns. But they also feel that this is a divide between Trump and his supporters. They actually feel that his supporters could leave him over red flag law. So they're attempting to do everything they can to put pressure on the president to try to put some space between Trump supporters and the president. Okay, so let's go with the tweet. Where is the tweet? The tweet. I'll find it here in just a second. So number 37, and we played this guy on the show not long ago. This is number 37. Trump promotes Epstein-Clinton conspiracy theory. Okay? So this is Terrence Williams, all right? And this is his tweet, okay? And we have right there on the screen, at the top of the screen, Terrence Williams. I can't read it from here. But Jeffrey Epstein had information on Bill Clinton. Now he's dead. I see hashtag Trump body count. But know who did this? RT. RT is a Russian news network, if you're not surprised. Hashtag Epstein suicide, Clinton body count, okay? RT, but we know who did this. RT, if you're not surprised, okay? So anyhow, the media is going crazy over this tweet and a retweet. So let's go through the media hysteria over this quickly. And let me get, I forgot something on the gun legislation earlier, and we will go back to that. Jeffrey Epstein. And I want to go through here quickly and find the ones that I wanted to the president. Okay, number 26. The president's history of spreading conspiracy theories. President retweets baseless claim linking Clintons to Epstein suicide. All right, let's go to number 28. Remember back when the president thought maybe this guy was born in Kenya and didn't have a birth certificate? Trump's history of spreading conspiracy theories. President retweets baseless. Now, they come out and immediately attack the president trying to squash this, okay? Because their biggest fear, and I'm going to tell you what Donald Trump did yesterday with that one retweet, all right? Trump's history of spreading conspiracy theory. Trump retweets, president retweets baseless claim linking Clinton to Epstein. I remember back that old birth certificate thing. Then we have, let me go through these before we get to the questions of the suicide. Number 38, questions swirl around Epstein's death. No evidence linking Clintons to convicted sex trafficking suicide. No evidence. We have no evidence. It's funny, you never have evidence to anything linking the Clintons to anything. There's never any evidence, right? Linking them to, let me see if I have something else. Then they had to run this, number 49. Number 49, Trump retweets Epstein conspiracy theory. Theory claims Clinton connection to former associate's death. Associate. Clinton connection to former associate's death. Associate. That's what it's called now to rape 14-year-old girls. Why, an associate of mine hosts a party where we have 14-year-old girls on the menu. Oh, an associate's death. He was just an associate. All right, so anyhow, CNN got serious and they called in Francis, right, number 50. Trump spreads unfounded conspiracy about Epstein's death. Then here's this one right here, number 51. And they don't know what they're saying here. 63 million Twitter followers. 63 million Twitter followers. Trump retweets Epstein conspiracy theory. The theory claims Clinton connection to former associate's death. Look at that former associate. I mean, let's refer to a piece of no good garbage like Bill Clinton and a piece of no good garbage like Jeffrey Epstein as an associate. But 63 million followers. All right. And before we go any further with the Attorney General and the conspiracy theory, let me say this. Here's what President Donald J. Trump did yesterday right there. He said to America, go look this up. Go look this up, America. Look up Clintons. Look up death. Okay? So, I don't want to take too much time on this, but I want to get to some more things this morning. All right? But there's the complete list. You can go to Gateway Pundit. Here is a complete list of Clinton associates. Associates who allegedly died mysteriously or committed suicide before testimony, including Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? There's a whole list. Clinton made 27 trips to Jeffrey Epstein's private plane. Most of those flights were with underage girls. All right? So here's the list. James McDougal. Look up James McDougal. Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner died apparently of a heart attack. Mary Mahoney. Look up Mary Mahoney. Here's the one I love. Vince Foster committed suicide, shot to the back of the head. Former White House counsel and colleague of Hillary Clinton at Little Rock's Rose Law Firm died of a gunshot wound to the head. Ruled a suicide. And here's the one I love the most is Ron Brown, okay? And Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce and former DNC chairman, reported to have died by impact in a plane crash. He died by impact. A pathologist close to the investigation reported that there was a hole in the top of Brown's skull resembling a gunshot wound. Please, this is your pilot. Prepare for takeoff. Everybody, please fasten yourself seatbelt. We will be cruising at 37,000 feet today. It'll be a smooth flight. And as soon as the captain turns off the seatbelt sign, someone will come around and shoot you in the top of the head. Or did they shoot him and put him on the plane? Is it weekend at Ron Brown's? So, a gunshot wound. At the time of his death was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died. A few days later, the air traffic controller committed suicide. Guess what? Trump has 63 million followers. Guess what? If the media is going crazy over it, and they're talking about, and Morning Schmojo, where is Schmojo? I mean, I know I had him up there. I sent you no pictures of Schmojo this morning? Wow, how did that slip the ranks? But Morning Schmojo is up there, and they're all screaming about Trump and his conspiracy theories and everything. And the media's going nuts. What did Donald Trump do? He played the media once again because guess what? Clinton, suicide, Epstein. There's millions of people that are learning for the first time about Ron Brown. There's millions of people that are learning for the first time about Vince Foster. There's millions of people, and let me just do this one more time. Let's go down to, let's just pick. The following Clinton bodyguards are also dead. Wow, following Clinton bodyguards. The list goes on. So, Epstein is dead, and the media is going crazy over this, and I do know what Trump did is he has now millions of Americans that are looking this up for the first time. Now, I did not, okay, put up a picture of Prince Andrew, okay? Fox News, I will give this much credit. You're not hearing this anywhere else. Number 18. Google this today while you have time. George Mitchell. So we're all wondering, I'm telling you, Friday, there's a release of documents that start laying out these pieces of garbage. And Saturday, Epstein commits suicide. That's right. So conspiracy theory has gone wild, and we won't know. I mean, I got the phone call Saturday. I'm driving home. Get the phone call. What if this medication, and they named it, was used on Epstein to slow his heart down to a rate to where you could not detect he lived, he was alive. We see pictures of him being rolled out. We see pictures of him on a gurney. And then the CIA, or not say CIA, but our federal authorities hide him on an island somewhere. Or he paid the most elaborate scheme to have that done, and there's people that got him to an island and he's drinking Mai Tais. I don't know. So there's George Mitchell. He's the former U.S. Senate Majority Leader, Democrat. Did you see that across your news cycle this morning? How many times have you heard George Mitchell's name out of the corrupt corporate deep state media that we have to take down? Did you hear it any? Very few. Fox floated it a couple times. Okay. Look up George Mitchell. Second, let's look up this piece of SH asterisk asterisk. Number 19. Richardson. Richardson could not be any closer within the circle and the loop of the Clintons. Richardson, former New Mexico governor. Look up all of his positions he's had with the DNC, around the DNC, with Clintons. Piece of garbage, Bill Richardson. Why, he was an associate, where the menu was 14-year-old girls. Prince Andrew, right? Did you see that on any of the Sunday morning shows? Fox did a small shot on it. CBS, did you? Are you seeing that on any of your news cycles this morning about these Democrats? You see, Epstein was a Democrat Trump ran Epstein off because he knew he was a piece of garbage. Clinton was Epstein's friend, not associate, friend. 26 times you get on the plane with him. Friend, close friend. He has so much dirt on Bill Clinton. If you think he's got dirt on Bill Richardson, George Mitchell, did he help Clinton get dirt on these people so Clinton could control these people? Or is there a lot of dirt on Clinton that we're waiting to see? Now here's what happens. You keep wanting to know what happens in court. Forget what happens in court. I have seen this before, and some people will argue with me that I'm not, I don't have it exactly the way it works. But here's what happens in court. They go to court, and you have the accusers, and they're going against the estate, or you have the other people, the pieces of garbage like this, and they keep coming up with Epstein this and Epstein that. The estate will have an attorney. There'll be an attorney in there. I don't know how to explain this, but there'll be an attorney in that room that will pop up every time Epstein comes up and says Epstein did this and that. Will say, Your Honor, Jeffrey Epstein's not here to defend himself. Your Honor, Jeffrey Epstein can't speak for himself today. So whatever accusations are being made, we can't hear from the grave. You can't take that, Your Honor, because that's hearsay. Jeffrey Epstein, he's not here to defend himself. Watch what happens there. See, Jeffrey Epstein will not be there to defend himself, okay? And he will not be able to speak for himself. That will come up. So let's go through some other things with Epstein, okay? Before we get to it, let's go to some bylines, okay? This is this week. With George Stephanopoulos, number 9. This is Michelle Licata, all right, Licata. Jeffrey Epstein accuser, all right. Let's go to, this is Pierre Thomas, number 10. ABC News chief justice correspondent yesterday. And, I'm watching Pierre Thomas, and you know what Pierre Thomas said? He said, you know what? Right now, ABC, can this be foul play? It could be anything. Pierre Thomas said to George Stephanopoulos, he said, with all of my sources that I have and my contacts, George, this could be anything. We can't rule out anything here. Okay? It's Pierre Thomas. So let's go back to some more pics. And let's go to, we'll go through these one at a time. Here is number 17, a little byline. Okay, Fox News Sunday, Spencer Coven? I don't know what the hell. Attorney representing Epstein's accuser. And then we have, let's go to this one pic we pulled off the internet, supposedly number 20. This is Jeffrey Epstein. This is Jeffrey Epstein being slid, boom, right there into the back of the van there for the, I guess, out of the morgue, or out of the prison. But all right, you notice the curtains. Now pay attention to this. They got these privacy curtains up, okay? Now let's go to number 24, the Metropolitan Correction Center, right? Questions about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. Multimillionaire inmate was removed from suicide watch late July. Okay, we don't know why. Okay, let me get... Now here, we already looked at this one, number 32. We're going to go through everything because you're out there making a decision right now. So, who released this picture? Now, what we're going to be told by the Attorney General is it's an ongoing investigation. So I don't know when we will see footage of his jail cell. I don't know when we will get the names of the guards. They may be out there that were on duty. Okay. I don't know when we will see the log sheets when the guards go every 30 minutes and check cells. I do not know when we will get any of those details. They may be starting to come out. But why did this picture surface? Ask yourself, part of the day. Number 33. Why did that picture surface? Is it to give an illusion he's dead? Now, I don't know today. But I'm telling you, I'm not buying into any single thing. Do I think the Clintons possibly had something to do with this? Absolutely. All you got to do is see George Mitchell and the piece of crap, piece of crap from New Mexico, Bill Richardson. You start seeing these pieces of garbage surface. Oh, yeah, Bill Clinton. If you think they got something on him. Because here's the thing is, I want to know, this will have, if the Clintons had something to do with it, this will have about 3 murders. Did you notice when I read Ron Brown looked like, apparently he had a gunshot wound to his head? He could have been the only one dead. But my opinion, the Clintons knew about Ron Brown's death. My opinion, the Clintons may have some involvement, my opinion, in Ron Brown's death. But if you just find Ron Brown like Vince Foster, because maybe they said, hey, we don't want this whole Vince Foster mess again. That didn't go well. Let's go with killing a bunch of people and him just being in the mix. Because if you notice, there was a lot more people on that plane that day when it went down. So who would suspect somebody killing a bunch of people to get the one they wanted? Oh, that would never happen, right? So do I think that possibly the Clintons have something to do with this? Absolutely. But what I want to know is how many die. Because you have the one that, kills the person. And then you have the other one that kills the person that killed Epstein. And then you have the other one that kills the person that killed the person that killed Epstein. So that way you could back down the trail to that many people don't know anything. And you can get closer to the real source, but it draws away from Epstein. I mean, I'm just saying that, whether you understand which way I went or not. All right, number 30. But why is this picture released? Why? Number 34, questions about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. All right. Number 35, we're going through the bylines real quick. Questions about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. Number 36, guards didn't check on Epstein as scheduled. So wherever Epstein's at, they got a 30-minute rotation. Every 30 minutes they're supposed to go through. Now, I don't know, I'm going to do this by memory really quickly, but my understanding is the area where Epstein died, the jail cell, apparently that was supposed to have 2 inmates at all time. There was supposed to be 2 in the cell at all time. And supposedly Friday night, just the day before, you got to understand, the garbage material comes out with Richardson and Mitchell, and these documents get released. Friday, the second inmate is moved out of his cell. Look it up. Moved. Saturday, Epstein seems to wake up alone. The guards are overworked. They're on overtime. They're supposed to be doing 30-minute and even waking the inmates up. But they may have give Epstein, an hour, hour and a half? Right? We never know. Will we hear the cameras are broke? Who slipped in there? Then we have number 41. Before jail suicide, Jeffrey Epstein was left alone and not closely monitored. Left alone and not closely monitored. Number 42. You know, I'm telling you what we're going to need here is we're going to need Jeffrey to have he needs some alone time. I mean, Jeffrey's just searching himself inside and out, just trying to figure out where things went wrong. I mean, could you not give Jeffrey just a little time to himself? I mean, that's all he's asking for. Who was that on the phone? I don't know. I can't recognize the voice. Epstein's guards working extreme overtime shift morning of death, 42. Number 43. You know, he's not on suicide watch, but who is the guard that says, look, man, there's nothing happening to this dude on my watch? New York Times, number 43, before jail suicide, Jeffrey Epstein was left alone and not closely monitored. Mr. Epstein was supposed to have had another inmate in his cell, 3 officials said, but the jail had recently transferred his cellmate and allowed Mr. Epstein to be housed alone, a decision that also violated the jail's procedures, with 2 officials said, or something like that. Let's go to 44. Multiple people briefed on the investigation told NBC News that Epstein underwent a psychiatric evaluation on or about July 29th after he was cleared from suicide watch and returned to a cell in the special housing unit. What did he tell him to get off suicide watch? I promise I won't do it again. I promise. I really do. I don't know what I was thinking that day. I mean, you know, I got up and I was used to jogging, 2 14-year-olds, a freshly pressed shirt, lunch at the club. And I just said to myself, oh my God, where's the girls in the club in my freshly pressed shirt? And it was a bad day. But I promise it won't happen again. Okay, we trust you. It won't happen again. Take him off suicide watch. He's just another one of those pieces of garbage back there. After autopsy, number 45, after autopsy, cause of Jeffrey Epstein's death awaits further information. Now, buddy, let me tell you something. Now, I know this is New York. Is it New York City? But let me tell you something. It's amazing. It's amazing. Information come out on Friday. Dude die on Saturday. Autopsy done on Sunday. It's over, Jack. Boom. Now, I'm wondering if a bum off the street gets the autopsy or somebody else. I wonder if any family gets autopsy, their loved one's body like this happened. This is a bada bing, bada boom. It's over. You know, I don't know where they're going to bury the dude. Wonder if we'll get to see that. Wonder if there'll be crying widows there. Wonder if there'll be crying 30-some-year-olds that used to be 14 there. I know, I don't give a rat's what you think of what I'm saying. Number 46. Epstein's guards worked extreme overtime shifts morning of the death. Number 47, Washington Post. Correction officers did not check on Epstein for several hours before his death, violating protocol, person familiar with the case says. The 2 correction officers assigned to watch this special unit in the detention center where Epstein was being housed were working overtime. What the hell? I'm tired. All right, man, I'm zapped. You do the walk. No, I'm zapped. I've got 42 hours in this week. I'm zapped. My feet are hurting. One forced to do so by management, the other for his 4th or 5th consecutive day. The president of the local union and staffer said they were exhausted. They were just flat exhausted. You got to understand, they put jelly donuts in there. And these guys get a sugar rush, and they're eating jelly donuts, and they're sitting in the lounge, and they're watching all these monitors. And they say, hey, Joe, it's 30 minutes. It's your turn. No, I just filled up on the jelly donuts. It's your turn. No, I got 42 hours in. I'm serious. What the friggin' hell? Why the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is not over. Number 48. Federal prosecutors and FBI agents who built the case said Mr. Epstein will turn their attention to the people whom accusers have said participated in the scheme, and the dates back more than a decade and involved the sexual exploitation of dozens of underage girls. Look, let me just look at the camera and tell you, Hillary Clinton got away with the murder of 4 of our Americans in Benghazi. Got away with it. Scot-free, clean, zip, zilch, whatever. They're dead. The Clintons, my opinion, probably get the lawsuits now, my opinions, the Clintons know how to murder and put everybody in the right corner and clean up the mess and move on to the next pantsuit and the next place Bill can look at 14-year-old girls. So, anyhow, let's go to the Bullfrog 52. Deeply disturbed to learn of Jeffrey Epstein's death while supposedly on watch at the Metropolitan Correction Center, I'm pleased that the Department of Justice and Inspector General and FBI will be investigating. There are many questions that need to be answered in this case. And let's go to the Attorney General, number 54, his statement today. Attorney General's statement on death of Jeffrey Epstein. I was appalled to learn that Jeffrey Epstein was found dead early this morning from an apparent suicide while in federal custody. Mr. Epstein's death raises serious questions that must be answered. In addition to the FBI investigation, I have consulted with the Inspector General, who is opening an investigation into the circumstances of Mr. Epstein's death. Okay, now let's stay there for a minute. Let's go to this one, number 55. Attorney General Barr, appalled by Epstein's apparent suicide, says Inspector General. Okay. I would say here's what we know, but we don't. I would say that, when is a conspiracy not a conspiracy theory if the theory is correct? Can I say that again? Josh, when is a conspiracy theory not a conspiracy theory when the theory is correct, right? When is it? Okay. Labeling us is how they do it. You understand? Labeling us racist, labeling us white supremacists, white nationalists, labeling us violent gun owners, labeling us, labeling raids, ICE raids, labels, right? Now, if we question anything other than a legitimate suicide, that Jeffrey Epstein was tired of living. Jeffrey Epstein knew Friday that all of this information was going to be so damaging and embarrassing. What was this information going to do to particularly Jeffrey Epstein? First of all, I think he knows he's not getting out of prison, right? I think he knows that it's not going to change whether he gets 25, 35, or life. I think he knows, I don't know, maybe he says, I take my life versus somebody killing me, because they will in Gen Pop. When we put me in general population, I will get killed, okay? There's a whole list of possibly what Jeffrey Epstein was thinking. But what was the particular benefit, and I hate to put it that way, for him to kill himself? Just so he didn't have to daily hear the news of the scumbags that went on that island? So he didn't have to daily hear the news of testimony from these young ladies? Because you need to understand, these young ladies, they didn't bother Jeffrey Epstein. Every time they're on TV, it doesn't bother. He sees one of these young ladies testify or give their statement to a news organization. He just remembers when they were 14 years old and they were doing all the things for him and his friend that he wanted. That's all. He's a piece of garbage. You think he's sensitive? You think he has feelings? You've lost your damn mind. So why kill yourself? Why? Right? Why not sit down with the prosecutor and say, hey, let's make a deal. I made one in Florida. You ready? I can bring you the biggest fish you've ever had. Why not? Why not sit down with the prosecutor? I don't know. Why somebody like Jeffrey Epstein have guards decided to leave him alone for an extended period of time? I don't know. Why? Why was he taken off suicide watch? Because he promised he wouldn't do it again? Or he promised he was just having a bad day? I understand this guy was used to throwing shirts away. He's sitting in a jail cell and he throws shirts away. That he every day when he got up, he'd put a shirt on. When he's done, he'd throw it out. Never wear it twice. There's things like that. So when he got on the front of the people on suicide watch, what did he tell them? Why don't we get those suicide watch release documents? Here is our opinion. You know, it's just like parole. You know, you get somebody, I will never do it again. Yeah, you say that, but parole denied. Ching, you're back in. So 3 years later, where you going? You're all shined up. You got your hair combed. You've brushed your tooth. You've covering up your prison tattoos. You know, you put a scarf around your neck. You know, so all the Nazi tats are gone. What are you doing? Parole board today. Get in there. Yes. It was a terrible crime. I will never do anything like that again. I have been rehabilitated. Really? Parole denied. But here it is. Epstein rolls in there to the board that decides, and they do a little evaluation. They get this psychiatric evaluation, and he promises he'll never do it again. All right, take the suicide watch off the guy. He's all right. Give him a knife and fork so he can cut his steak or whatever he's getting, or his hamburger steak. I don't know. So all the questions are out there. I guess I want to end with this because I only have 6 minutes. I want to end with this. We'll go into it. If you are out there and you believe possibly that Jeffrey Epstein is not dead, you believe possibly they gave him something to slow his heart rate down to where there was no detection and somebody got him out of there and got him somewhere so he is never able to testify, keep going. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. If you think the guy just swung himself in a jail cell because he couldn't take, he's such a prissy little piece of garbage that he couldn't take being locked up, and when these documents come out, the whole world's going to see, and he's going to be an embarrassed billionaire in jail, go for it, whatever you want. If you think the Clintons know some people, they got a guy, and somehow the guards, we're talking people with billions of dollars, and somehow the guards were bought an extra box or two of donuts to stay over in the lounge. Look, there's some extra Krispy Kremes. We got our peanut butter and jelly flavors over there today. So if you bought, the guards, and I'm not talking down the guards, all right, but if you bought a little extra time, let's just say one of the guards has a new Corvette in the driveway. Go check. Just saying. Let's say one of the guards always got that skidoo, that jet ski you always want. I'm just saying. Maybe there was a brown paper bag behind the dumpster. Just saying. Right? Just saying. What if? And, look, you need an hour? Yeah. Kill that camera. I need an hour. Right? Somebody goes in. Jeffrey, I happen to be your last visitor, Jeffrey. You remember that time? I've only got an hour now, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I've only got an hour. And you remember that time we was flying down there to that island? Yes. I mean, we had the milks shaking that day, didn't we? We hit that turbulence, them little 14-year-old girls would jump up and down. Remember that, Jeffrey? Well, you know what? Here's something you'll never forget. I don't know. But if you believe that, go for it. Go for it. And you believe you could trust your government, you go for it. And if you could trust your government to take your guns, you go for it. If you trust your government to handle your health care and promise you can keep your doctor, you can keep your insurance, you go for it. If you believe any of this crap, you just go for it. You got it? Your grandkids will be trying to figure out who killed Jeffrey Epstein, and I can't wait. All right, look, here's two things I want to do, Josh. I did not get to go to all the pictures, but I do want to go to two videos, okay? Because this guy is brain dead. Brain dead. All right. Let's see what somebody. Wait a minute. I may have a comment here on this. With the reference of red flag laws, Trump has been clear he wants to come up with a way to prevent crazy people who will do harm to others from keeping firearms once they have indicated that they intend to use them to harm others and are serious about it. To declare the need for simple common sense, but to do it in a way that affords due process is an important constitutional consideration. So far, no legislation has been crafted for Trump to consider all of this in the abstract at best. Chill pill time, and Trump is not after your guns. I did not tell you Trump was after your guns today. That's Hank Sullivan. Thanks for the comment, Hank. I like that. Great. Thanks for the comment. I did not tell you President Donald Trump's after your guns. I'm in fear of just the government, okay? You trust your government, that's up to you. Now, Josh, we got to close. It is 9:50. It will only take a minute. Let's do the poor kids. Do you have that video? You know which one I'm talking about? All right. Okay, let's do that one for Biden. Let's leave with the Biden gaffe of the day.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean, but think how we think about it. We think, no, we're going to dumb it down. They can do anything anybody else can do, give it a shot.
Poor kids can do anything. Why, it's not just for whites and Asians. Poor kids can handle it too. Whew, wow, sound the alarm. Now, let's give you a Joe Biden gaffe from the past. You got that one, Josh? Roll it.
And I also am told that Chuck Graham, state senator, is here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what, you're making everybody else stand up, though, pal. Thank you very, very much. I tell you what, stand up for Chuck. Thank you, pal. You can tell I'm new. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you.
Folks, if you're going to announce an elected official in the audience, you might want to take a minute and find out he's in a wheelchair and not yell, "Stand up, Chuck." A gaffe from the past. This is the best they have. The best they have. I got to go. I'll be back tomorrow morning, okay, at 8 a.m. And now go over at 10 to Instant Replay, and that's on Facebook and our Team FYN Sports, okay? Take us to break, Josh.